Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Beamer, owner-operator of Extra Diet Art by Science, and this is the daily vlog episode number 25. Today I'm going to be talking about my pottage bats, and with that I'm going to show the pottage bats, and I'm going to talk about what pottage is. So in this bat here, you will see all these really great colors and textures. So just in this bat alone, there's merino, there's cormolux, there's some pulled surrey silk, angelina, there's Wensleydale locks, there's some Falkland, there's all kinds of great stuff in here. And it's really just jam-packed with colors and textures. And then underneath here, I have just some plain wool that I carded so that all of the yummy goodies would have something to sit on. And when I'm spinning my yarn, it's going to give me a substantial base so that I know I'm making a really good, strong yarn that's going to stay together. But the pottage part comes from all of those little bits of remnants that I've kept for my drum carder. So I try and recycle as much as I can because if I'm buying it, I might as well try to use as much of it as I can, right? So anything that doesn't go into a normal bat gets stuck on the drum carder, I will pull that off and I will put it in my lovely little fishbowl here, and it's got all kinds of great fibers. It has some merino, it has the pulled surrey silk, Wensleydale locks, bamboo, silk, you name it, it's pretty much in here. Even some cashmere. And some of you who have already bought pottage bats from me will probably have had some cashmere in your bat, so there you go. So I just try to keep as much as possible. Anything that I think I would use again, I keep. Anything that's gross or full of vegetable matter, like something that you wouldn't want in yarn, I just go ahead and throw it away. So I'm trying my best to keep using as much as I can. Because, you know, I also pay for it. You don't want to just throw away things that you pay for, right? I do that enough with food that goes bad in the refrigerator. So that is basically where the pottage bat comes from. So I tried to take wool that's already like nice and neat for the base, and then I don't know, depending on the bat, it could be as little as 20% of the bat is comprised of recycled components, or all the way up to probably like 50% of that bat is made with recycled components. So it's really a wild card what you get, but usually it's a really nice variety. But because of the nice fiber that goes into it, you're still getting a bat that will give you a really good base for a strong yarn. So there's that. Now pottage, where the heck does this word come from? Well, I was talking about the recycled component of the fiber. I want to keep as much of it as possible so I could reuse it. Well, in the medieval days, so we're talking probably like 7th century, 8th century, 9th century stuff, those people, especially in the lower classes, didn't really have a ton of food. And especially when times were tough, they tried to save as much as they could, much like I'm doing here. So what they would do is they would have this giant kettle over their stove, and they would just add scraps. So let's say they were peeling a carrot, and there were some pieces that weren't going to go into like that meal for the day. They would take those scraps and they would put it in this pot and let it cook. They would put all kinds of stuff in there. They would put all kinds of vegetables. So a lot of times if they had meat scraps, they would put those in there because they didn't want to waste any of that. And over the course of a few days, like this pot would be cooking, right? So it would be like the ultimate stew. Everything would be really well incorporated in terms of flavors. The broth would be really heavy with meat and vegetable flavors. And then what a lot of times they would do is they would take part of the stew out, grind it up real quick, put it back in, stir it all together to add a natural thickness because you know, they would use sometimes like potatoes or like root vegetables. And when you grind that stuff up, it really thickens up whatever broth that you're using. So they would get this really hearty stew. And over several days of adding to it and taking out to eat, the flavors would change. But it was all like the point I'm trying to say is they would always focus on recycling whatever they could. So if food is scarce and it might not be as desirable to eat, just kind of throw it in with the mix. It's going to turn out to be okay in the end. So it's kind of where I'm going with this idea for the pottage bats. I'm still taking like some good bits right? And then I'm recycling with it some of the pieces that weren't necessarily desirable the first time around, but go really great the second time around, by being incorporated in such a way that you're getting the best of all worlds here. And like I said, this is going to make some fabulous yarn. I can't wait to make something with this to show you guys really how great it can be. And this is actually something even perfect for a beginner. If the way that I make them, the pieces are really well incorporated, so this is going to teach you a little bit more about drafting. It's going to show you how gorgeous your yarn is. If you're just playing with the white stuff, get one of these, because you're going to have some lumpy, chunky yarn, and it's going to look fabulous because you're knitting, or you're spinning with fabulous fiber here. And it's, I mean, in some ways it's environmentally friendly too as well, because I'm not throwing this away. Can you imagine? This would have all been in the trash if I didn't get rid of it, right? And this is after making several bats. So I'm always making more, so I keep making more of these. So these are always going to be available in my Etsy shop, as long as they don't sell out, which is sort of what I want you to do. So at the end of this video, go take a look at that. Anyway, so if you have any questions for me, you can post them below. Any comments are welcome as well. Like this video, share, subscribe, and if you want to follow me on Twitter or fan me on Facebook, you can go to those links. They'll be in the description. And please take a look at my Etsy shop. I would appreciate even you just going in there and clicking that little heart for me. It would be huge for me. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.